were not seen in the past. And so our body uses this shield to close off. And also we are reading so fast that we don't have time for empathy. We don't have time to feel what we are reading. So I'm thinking that maybe we are a little bit, we cannot stop the technological progress, that's for sure. And we see the benefits, we feel the risks, we don't know them. But are you familiar with any study that is looking at the potential impact on who we are from the massive use of Gen AI in terms of competences of people? Current people, many of them cannot count without the calculator. And if we go further, we might have people who are very proficient in using the technologies, but who would be not able to feel many things and to be competent in certain things. I'm painting it a little bit black, but I wanted to see what you think if we go into the studies of the potential impact. I'm Olena Bech, I'm from the European Training Foundation.
Wow.
Such a question, no? Well, there are some researchers about cognitive psychologists that suggest that AI, for example, support tools can change the learning experience by providing personalized feed. No, so we have studies one side, but we have studies that also the feedback that we receive from learning management system that have this potential of AI can engage more the students. For example, I know what you're trying to explain, but I think that there are potentials in the use of AI in learning. So to automatize routine tasks and adapting content to individual needs. That's one of the potential. So maybe in a not personalized content, AI can introduce some feedbacks that engage you more in the for example the training that you are doing or in these platforms. By the other hand, if maybe we're gonna lose the capacity to calculate or to make mathematics, I don't know. I don't have any reference about this, but I mean, I'm from the analogic century and also the digital century, so I'm between. I'm 41 years old, and I belong from one side, another side. The question is that do we stop reading? Do we stop writing? Or do we stop? The thing is, if we're gonna lose these capacities, but I think it's not the way in the education right now. So I don't have enough information for that. Sorry.
Well, I know your question was on empathy.
Yeah.
And Guillem's point is true about motivation. And there's proof already that AI can help motivate disengaged learners because of the personalization and the chatbots we discussed and whatnot. That's something else. It's still about attention. And I get that. Empathy, I don't know if there's studies so far, but just it's only been 18 months and we are just starting to use. So I don't think we would need a longitudinal study to really understand if empathy is being affected. And I think we do. And honestly, I'd love to see it. I've many times feel like you see the news or whatever, and you just kind of take a step back and you're like, no, is AI going to exacerbate that? I don't necessarily see how or how not. I mean, I don't really know. It's a much deeper question. I don't know if I'm capable of answering empathy about, but yeah. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, I don't know what else to add. I don't know about any studies regarding empathy, but I think this has already changed. And if I'm looking at, my small community of friends, relatives, and so on, you can already see that if they are, bombarded with media announcements, everything, and they have access all the time to different news, I think at some point you just don't feel the same emotions as you felt before when you didn't have access to all this information. So I think, the study that you mentioned might be right, although I don't think that AI will, let's say, make it even worse. It might actually help because, to be honest, with AI, if you use it correctly in a correct way, then I think it will probably help us to develop a bit our creativity and some parts that we might have lost with the help of technology in general so far.
I mean, AI is an extension of us, right? And when you ask to, the co-pilot or whatever to do something, and you guide it and you say, no, that's not correct, and you go and write something more empathic or be more direct, it's just going to obey the instruction. So it is what we make of it in many ways. So it's not about the technology itself, it's about, teaching humanity, right, alongside critical thinking. But it's not about, just as, no one thought social media was going to need some sort of side lesson about humanity because people use social media as an extension of themselves. I think it's the same thing. But yes, it's a more enhanced way of using technology to put something out into the world, for sure. Oh, yeah. Oh.
Hi, many of us are in this room are involved in supporting people who have very low levels of skills in the digital world. Are you seeing any early examples of how AI can help level up the playing field for those people who potentially are being left behind by technology?
Well, I have one quick example, but speech to text is making a huge difference for people with disabilities. And it works in many ways. Like, I have a small invisible disability, and for me, it already makes a difference to use text to speech. That's natural language models help us with that. You can literally say something, it will type it. So that's just a personal example, but it's definitely working and it's being applied across the globe.
I'm thinking of. Well, you want to answer?
No, I just think that it is really good to have the opportunity to talk about AI within this context of All Digital Weeks, because All Digital Weeks today's discussion was about digital inclusion. So whenever we talk about AI now, it should be, as I said, a basic digital skills or basic skill that should be accessible to everyone. What we're doing in Romania now, we are working with this project, Gen AI Edu, which probably you already heard about. We're working with teachers and trainers, and they, as I said before, they are quite resistant to change. So, the conversations we had with them shows that they are scared that they are not able to do their job as they did before. And these things are, something that they're not only afraid of, but they just completely, let's say, put a block to learn these kind of things. And what we're doing is trying to show with the resources, the learning resources that we're using within Gen AI Edu, what they can do to make their work easier and to augment their, let's say, their skills and their teaching in order to integrate AI in education.
Yeah, I think that AI in recommendation systems, for example, can be a good way that people make self-assessment tools and all these things to recommend the training that the pathway they are learning. So we are using AI for this kind of recommendation, and I think it's a good way to start, no, like with the self-assessment tool to know what is your competence, what your level of competence. So maybe the uses of AI in this kind of recommendation tools could be an example of the benefits of using.
And not to be crude, but you remember the Post-it example of Copilot. So you can imagine such a thing used in a classroom to assess the level of students across the board based on their tests or their essays or whatever, and say, use AI to group the students along their capabilities. And that way you can assess which students need the most help, right? You have the group A, B, C, and it's not about, they don't need to know that they're put in a category. I'm just saying this is for the teacher to assess. And that's a good way to help the teacher and say, well, okay, I'm going to need to bring these students to this level and level the playing field. But that is happening already. And like I mentioned, disabilities, people, text to speech is huge. But thanks for your question. And that's what we care about, really, making sure that it's accessible for all and it levels the playing field. And I think for many people that maybe didn't have the opportunities to go to formal education or whatnot, Gen AI can help bridge that gap. Anyone else? Yes. Oh, yeah, yes.
There was a question.
I have
Sorry.
You were talking about artificial intelligence and generative AI helping students, right? What about training of the AI? Who is responsible for the data that AI is trained for? And you were using an example in history teaching, for example. So how to avoid possible biases that I will give you very recent, very up-to-date situation. Who would be responsible for teaching AI about the history of Middle East, for example?
Mhm.
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
I mean, there's ethical and there's data considerations because we need to know what data AI is using to come up with the responses. And that is all, I mean, that's part of the reason why Microsoft, but other companies work with public authorities, with policymakers to ensure that the data is safeguarded, that there is ethical considerations being taken into account. There's guardrails for how that data is sourced. In the end, it's the same data that you can find on a textbook, whether it was written by a right-wing or a left-wing person. The textbook exists, and there's still a choice to how you use that information. And the best we can do right now, which was shown by Idris, was to show the source of the information, which is being done. And then you still need the critical thinking of the individual to say, you know what, that it comes from the National Enquirer or that comes from, to really distinguish where the data is coming from. But it's not for AI to make an ethical decision. It's just reproducing the data that's being inserted in it. You still need that person oversight and that critical thinking. Oversight both from the authorities and the critical thinking from the users. Yes.
It's also a good exercise to use this, the kind of responses, the information generated by the AI. If you're a teacher, together with your students, to check if the information is accurate or not. So to make this sort of exercise and check if this information is good or not, and to check the sources as well as the information.
As reminded that Wikipedia have also some wrong information too. I remember the experiment of in Australia of the octopus in the tree. So maybe we have to be professionals and fact check this information too.
Dad, do you want to come up?
Yeah.
I know we're way over time. Did you have a quick question?
Can I also get a clicker?
Okay.
Of our I only want to mention that the use of AI depends of our skills and knowledge, and it would be challenge for all of us because in the future the personal knowledge and skills will be more important. We have to teach teachers, we have to teach students, and also the citizens. And it will be the challenge for all society how we continue to use AI if you don't prepare and if you don't have the needed skills. And the critical thinking is important, but it depends on the reading and writing. The basic literacy is going down, and the information society expects from people so many new skills. And how we manage to cross this gap will be challenge for us. And we have to work a lot together to find the decision on the policy level and all other national and regional.
You're right. And I expect our brains will get bigger and our head will get bigger because we do need more and more skills, but
Mhm.
Yeah.
The use of information is so complicated and difficult in the future.
Agreed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dea, can you
Yeah.
please come up
Yes.
and
Okay, so I'm really sorry to disturb this really interesting conversation, and I'm really thankful for all the inspiring thoughts and inspiring questions that were shared. And actually, building on your question and building on the skills and reskilling, we have a project which is called Gen AI Edu, which I want to talk to you briefly about. This is a really challenging spot to have because we just had a really good discussion, and also I'm standing within you at the end of the day. So I will try to make it quick. I promise I have something interesting to share and some some exciting news as well. So let's see if this does it. Yes, it does. Good, great. So I know a lot of you here also know about this project, and I know a lot of you are involved in it. But just to give you some brief overview of it, so the name of the project is Gen AI Edu, and as the name suggests, it deals with generative AI in education. So the full title is actually Integrating Generative AI in Education, in Adult Education. And we aim to empower teachers, trainers, and facilitators in how to use AI. And I mean, it's something that's really new. So how to integrate it in their teaching practices. And this we are trying to do with a series of online courses. So we have 7 courses that are launched on All Digital Academy. You can scan the QR code that's going to bring you directly to the platform here, or you can also see the beautiful roll-up that we have there on the side. The courses are self-standing, so if you already have some general knowledge, some basic knowledge about AI and generative AI, you can skip those few courses. But you can also start from the first one to the last one to get a comprehensive and like really thorough overview of the use of generative AI. We are also focusing a lot on the ethical considerations, so you will also find this aspect in the courses, and we are also trying to engage all the participants in the discussion and in raising more awareness about the ethical use of generative AI in education. Apart from the courses, we also have a webinar series. I know also all of you have been attending. I will not talk a lot about this at this point. If you want some more information, you can just come to me later and we can talk more about that. But what I want to talk to you about today is actually the launch of the new category for All Digital Awards, which we will have during the All Digital Summit in October. So as Alteo, who's not here at this moment, as he was saying in the morning session, this is one of the parts of the summit where we actually recognize and celebrate the effort and the input that teachers and trainers across Europe are putting into their educational practices. So we also want to award the best use of Gen AI in education. We have just actually launched a digital competition on our website, and I will present to you just a brief overview of the competition, a brief overview of what we are asking for, and then being mindful of the time, we can talk about it during the dinner if you have some specific questions, and you can also find more information on our website. So the competition is called Interacting with Generative AI, and we invite teachers and trainers and facilitators that are also involved in our courses to create innovative educational content on the topic of interacting with generative artificial intelligence, so the Gen AI. And the aim is to promote the knowledge and the understanding of AI to develop practical skills in using generative AI tools to create educational material. At this point, we can see the whole boom of a lot of AI tools, but how to know which one to use and how to use them effectively, and also taking, again, the ethical considerations in mind. This is something that we want to recognize with this competition. For the content requirements, the content must be created with the use of generative AI tools, and it also has to encourage the critical reflection, which is something that I keep on repeating, but I think this is important that we keep being mindful of. This is just a description of what we mean by educational content. So it can be anything from text, images, videos, presentations, interactive simulations, and more. The point is that the content is designed for learning purposes, which I know all of you, or most of you here, are already doing and are aware of, but I think it's also important to mention. The assessment criteria are innovation and creativity, impact on learning, ethical considerations again, And what we also really want to see is the alignment with the Digicom 2.2 framework. So the score, you will also see the scoring here. And on the website, you can also find more detailed information about each of these criteria. And as I said, the award ceremony is going to take place during the All Digital Summit in Madrid. And the winners of the competition will receive the trophy, and they will also have the opportunity to present this to our audience during the summit. You can scan the QR code here. That will bring you directly to the form. You will also find the form on our website. And tomorrow we will also have a whole session about the generative AI Edu, so we can also talk about this there as well. And like I said, for more information, you can check our website. You can come to me. We can talk more about this. And that's it, actually. Okay, I did it quite short. So,
Wow.
thank you all.
Well, thank you, everyone. And I think we can. Peter, are we just going outside for a little
No.
networking? No.
No,
It's a networking session.
not yet.
Ah.
Yes, not yet.
But we can leave.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Thank you very much,
Oh,
and
Thank you.
yeah, thank you very much for your contributions and
Thank
for this
you.
very interesting panel discussion, and there for the announcement. Still have a last part before dinner. As we are a community of all digital member organizations and others who have joined us for the occasion of the All Digital Weeks launch event, we would like to take some time to strengthen this network of people here with some activities, games, exercise.
Yeah.
Let's see how much time we have and let's see what we can implement. I would like to present you Fredo De Smet, who has accepted to be the moderator of this session. Fredo, thank you very much.
Thank you, Peter.
And the time is yours.
The time is yours, and I'm sure you're thinking, oh no, another keynote speaker. I want the drinks. Well, we're almost there. I'm not going to take it too long. Let me introduce myself, by the way. I'm Fredo. I'm in the first place a father of two. They're 11 and 13 years old, so I know a lot about digital skills and the need for it. I also wrote a book about which is called Artificial Stupidity, Being Obsessed, how to live in this digital realm. And this, I also believe it's like a completely new world, and we need an ethical framework, how to be human. But it's not enough about me. I want to get to know you. So I've got a couple of challenges for you today, which I invite you to participate on. And the first is digital. Is everybody online yet? Have you found the Wi-Fi code, or are you connected to 5G internet connection that is fast enough? Because it's the first thing we're going to do is collect some data about who's in the room. So we got to know each other, and then we can speak about the data or the feelings or the way we look at the future during the break or the dinner. So the Wi-Fi code is MSFT guests, and then there is an event code you need to add, MS event 1457RE. I'll give an extra minute. There is also a little paper. And while doing this, I'm going to switch to a Mentimeter to start the data collection. Just let me know if you're ready to join. You want to see the Wi-Fi code again? I'll take it here. It is called. So you go to MSFT guests. It's a Microsoft Wi-Fi, and there's an event code, MS event 1457RE. I'll go back to the slides just to make sure everybody can join in this fun game. You could also do it on
on 4G or 5G. You ready? Anyone needs help? All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. They're dilemmas. I'm going to ask you to answer a couple of dilemmas. Most of them you have to answer yes or no. You have to choose one or the other, which is really hard. That's why it's called a dilemma. But we can dive into it a little bit later on. The code for Mentimeter, so you go to menti.com, and the code is 56386413. All right, who's in already? Most of you, if it's hard to join, you can maybe play together with the person next to you. Once again, who's in already? I'm gonna wait a couple of more seconds. 20 people are already in. You are discovering it. I like it. This is gonna be fun. All right, let's start with the first question. The code for Menti, menti.com. Menti.com, and then the code is 56386413. And what I've done, I was here this afternoon and I took notes of the, by the way, wonderful discussions. And I would like to talk a little bit more about empathy in the digital world. There's a great podcast about it. But today I'm not a public speaker, I'm a public listener. I want to get to know you. So the first question is, are you a partner of All Digital? You can answer. Most of you are. Well, that's just a warm-up, right? It's not a real dilemma. You have to be a partner of All Digital. Let now dive into the topics I've actually heard discussed about. Would you identify yourself as a digital native? I don't. 29, 30 people say, I don't. Just a minority says I do, which is interesting, since we've been talking so much about education and young people. Next one. All right. Do you use a password manager? Interesting. The majority says yes. Still, there's quite a lot of people who are not, since all of us know we need to. It's sometimes described as a digital skill to, Another one, lifelong learning, which was discussed also this afternoon. Do you think of yourself you could use more digital skills? Are you completely satisfied, happy, up to date? It's hard that you have to say yes or no, but we'll come back to that. So again, the majority says yes, I do need more digital skills. We all do at any time, I guess. Some of you say I'm okay. Who says I'm okay? Raise your hands. So the rest can come ask advice if they need anything. No, not today. All right. Then the follow-up question is this. How do you train your skills? Is it something you do unconsciously by just exploring all of the time? Or do you do it intentionally? Do you actually put time and effort, even money in it? Almost 1/3 says it's unconscious. That's quite a beautiful and a surprising result, isn't it? The majority says intentionally. You do invest time to train your own digital skills. Eat your own dog food. Wonderful. Voila. Do you use AI? It has already been asked, but still, I'd like to see. But you have to answer between almost daily or almost never. There's no in between. Like, you have to choose now. Where are we? Well, now almost 50-50, almost never. You have to choose, it's hard, right? Almost daily. So this is an AI and community open to AI. But then the follow-up question is this, and we talked about this. Do you actually understand how AI works? Like really understand? Do you understand the algorithm? Do you know the difference between deep learning and reinforced learning? For all of you who use AI almost daily, do you actually understand it? That's an interesting ambiguity. We use it often. Not many of us actually understand it. All right, got a couple of questions more, and they become more and more existential. Does the current advancements in AI, as discussed today, do they scare you personally? Do you say, I'm okay, trust the process, it will be okay? Or, oh my God, to be honest, oh, how about this? 50-50. Maybe it's like one day I trust it, the other day I'm scared as hell. Something like that, depending on the day and the weather. And the update, did you see, by the way, that now these two AIs can speak to each other and sing? Did you see the updates of ChatGPT 4.0? Maybe we can do a sing-along later on. No. Voilà, a couple of questions about Europe. How would you assess the role of Europe in the digital realm? Are you saying, yeah, Europe is really leading the way internationally, or nah, not enough? Yes, it's a dilemma, a yes or no question. After which I'll give you the opportunity to answer with more dimension to it. Oh, there is a third is optimistic about Europe, but a big chunk is like really ambitious to do more, to go faster, to have more impact. I can send the results afterwards. This is an existential question, right? Do you believe the elections outcome, there are a lot of elections, would be different if people would have better understanding of digital worlds and more digital skills? Of course, yes or no? It's a struggle, right? I hear more information. It's an information overload. We need to talk about citizenship. Still, it's not clear. It's not so easy to say it's the actual reason. Then something that was also discussed this afternoon, and I find very interesting. I was really glad to hear mentioning a difference between we should go for economic competition in Europe, which is really important, or we should go for more development of competences towards citizenship, democratic. What should we invest first and foremost in? This is the first answer where there's almost a unanimous response. Thank you. We're almost there, almost there. And this is something I just added due to the latest conversation. The question here is, who should adapt? Should technology adapt, or should humans adapt? So what to invest most in, rules for the tech or skills for people? If are we investing more in rules and people will adapt, so people can be themselves, or are we investing more in skills so we can adapt to the tech? You cannot say less skills for people, I guess. It's kind of your job. Well, and then the last question overall, are you hopeful about digital transformation, yes or no? It's still moving. People are still like, no, yes, no, yes, no, not really. Of, okay. Well, what we're going to do now is I would like to ask you the same questions once again, but I would like to ask you to answer in a different way. We're going to stand up. We're going to put a little bit more energy in the room. So there's a sort of challenge for you. First and foremost, you have 1 minute to clean the room. I would like to see all the chairs at the sides. There is no, no control. There's nobody who's leading the game. Just 1 minute to clean the room as a collective challenge. Yes, we're almost there. Shall I help? I shall help. Hola, so can you still understand me? Can I walk here audio-wise? I can. So what we're going to do now, so we can see what everybody was answering, I'm going to ask a couple of the same questions, not all of them, a couple of them, because some of them are just too personal. And now we're going to split the room up and yes, I do, no, I don't. And you don't have to answer one or the other. You can stand more or less in the middle. Right? It was polarization already, too much polarization. And if you see somebody that's on a position that's really surprising you, that might be a good conversation starter for later on. Right? So, do you identify as a digital native? I do. Or I don't. I don't. Here, I don't. Oh, you can't stand in the middle. It's not an age thing. As do you identify? Voilà, that's a fun thing. Next question. How do you train your digital skills? And there was a lot of nuances there. So do you do it unconsciously or do you do it intentionally? Do you actually invest time? Yeah, you can stand in the middle. Ah, that's interesting. What you would expect is that the people who don't identify themselves as digital natives would all go there, but it doesn't. That's interesting. You can talk about it later on. Intentionally, just unconsciously, just a couple of them, maybe because here are the digital natives. They're just so used to it. It's an attitude. Intentionally, keep focused, Fredo. We're almost there. Do you use AI? You had to decide yes or no, daily or almost never. Now it's yes, daily. And almost never. Here is almost never. Nobody never? Is there anyone who have almost never? Oh, the majority is moving over to daily. And the question is which AI and how? And do you actually understand how it actually works? But that would be too personal. Does the current AI advancements scare you? How do we actually feel about it? I mean, it's our job, it's our life, but how do we feel about it? It's a scary world, to be honest. Or trust the process, it's gonna be good. We're gonna set some rules, some regulations will be needed. Does this mean it changes day by day, or is it just almost manageable? And there are some people who actually say it scares me. Oh. Ooh, here's the conversation start. You can trust the process, but you can't trust people. That's a conversation starter, right? What do we invest most in? Rules for technology, more rules for technology, or more skillful people? Remember, more skillful people, yes, more rules for technology. But the question is, what does this mean? Does it mean the technology developers can just go their own way and we have to adapt because we will learn new skills? Or does it mean we need to set more rules so we can keep being ourselves? We need both, yeah, but then you can stand in the middle. But it's hard, right? Because you do want to be acknowledged with the tech advancements, and so you also want to be. How would you assess the role of Europe? Leading the way, not doing enough. Leading the way, yes, Europe is internationally leading the way regarding to digital technology, government ruling, not doing enough. I heard here are the optimists, apparently. I guess you love your job. This is this is Switzerland. Yeah, you actually did one. Congratulations. Wait. Oh, wait. Yes, I was lost in translation. Do you believe the election outcome would be different if people had more skills? Yes, here again. And this is no. Or you can say it's impossible to say. It's too complex. Oh, all of a sudden there is like a void. All right, I think I have two more and then there is another game yet. The focus of investment in skills, economic competition, so we can stay competitive, or democratic competences. Where should we invest most in regarding the world of digital competences and development? Economic competition, we should be able to be competitive economically, or we should invest in more digital citizenship. Yeah, okay, here. Wow. This is beautiful, right? This is like the only thing that we are really a community in. Yeah, you say it's the economic competition. It's a courage. It demands a lot of courage to say so. And then the last one: are you hopeful about digital transformation? Of course, it will all be good. Or hopeful? How do you feel? Not really. Oh my God, I can't sleep anymore. Now I'm alone here. Not really. So there's no way back, right? We need it. Okay, thank you. I've got a couple of extra more games. What time is it? Normally lunch, dinner is starting at 6. We got a couple of more minutes. You want to proceed? All right. The second challenge is called the dance. Are you ready to dance? Are you ready to dance? We're gonna really use the room now. And before we actually do a little bit of dancing, don't be too nervous. I would like to organize a tournament. Do you know rock, paper, scissors? Who doesn't know rock, paper, scissors? Everybody knows rock, paper, scissors. So let's organize ourselves in 2 groups. Half here, half here. Let's form 2 lines facing each other. This is a really fun energizer to do. And I would like to have half of the people here, half of the people here, looking each other into the eye. I've never done it with such a big group, so it's going to be a huge challenge. You are missing an opponent. You have an opponent. You have an opponent. Maybe we should come a little bit closer to each other, right? You have an opponent. Does everybody has an opponent? Have you found your opponent already? There's some extra room left over there. All right. And before we're going to do this, because this is going to become mayhem, I really need to introduce one rule. And that's this. As soon as I do this and you see it, you also do this. And it means shh. But I'm not going to be a teacher like saying shh. That's not fun, especially not at the end of the day. We're just going to sign it to each other. And as soon as you see somebody doing this, you do the same thing. Okay. And it means shh. It's a great way of organizing a community. Yes, wonderful. It's a party. Just a party. It's not a political. No. Yes, it works. All right. So rock, paper, scissors. What you're gonna do? We're gonna play to your opponent. And if you're ready, you wait. And then after the first round, half of you will be lost, half of you will win. You become the supporter of the person next to you, and you really have to shout really hard. Hopefully he or she will win. And then we do another round. And then you become the supporter next of you. And in 5 minutes or so, this will be like a shouting area with lots of energy, ready to do networking afterwards. Excuse me? Is there somebody, a volunteer? All right, I'm gonna stand here. So are the rules, is it clear what we're gonna do? Are you ready for the first round? I'm gonna count to 3. 1, 2, 3, and then you do rock, paper, scissors. You do it 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The one who wins from 3 times, the best of 3, the one who wins after three games is the winner. Right? All right. Rock, paper, scissors. 1, 2, 3. Three times. Okay. All right. Do we have winners? So who has lost? You now become the supporter of your colleague who's next to you. Yeah, you're the like the hooligans. You have to really support. Like, come on, let's do it. We have to win. Yeah, go. So let's find a new opponent. Let's find let's find a new opponent. Wait, not yet. Has everybody find a new opponent? Who has lost? Please take a step back. The one who have lost. Yeah, voilà. Who has won? Yeah, you should find a new opponent. No, wait. It's not a second round. You can, no, wait, you have to wait. You can do it over again. Have you found a new opponent? Yes. So the one who have lost will now be the supporter of the one who is playing from your team. Are you ready? I'm gonna count to 3 and then really, really be a great hooligan, right? 1, 2, 3, go! You can play. Oh no. Yeah. All right. Are you ready? Who has won? All right, who has won this game? Can the one who didn't won take a step back? Did you win? Yeah. You can say, did you win? You can say, did you win? You can say, all the rest take a step back. Let's come a little bit closer. Who has won the game? Nobody. So there's 3 of you. There's 3 of you. Who has won the game? Okay, maybe we should come a little bit closer so we are really bringing the energy together. We're almost there. I'm gonna count, and you really have to support it for you. This is a team, right? Isn't this the community? I need more energy in the room. Are you ready for it? Yes. Are you ready for the drinks afterwards? Yes. Come on. 1, 2, 3, go. All right. We're almost there. So who has won from this row? Who has won? I think we have a winner. Congrats to the team. So I've got 2 or 3 more things. Shall I proceed or one more thing? Are you ready for one more thing or one more thing? Just a little bit more movement. Okay. All right. What we're gonna do is really awkward now. But you did say you wanted to do it. You did give consent. So what I'm gonna ask you to do is to walk the room silently. And when I say stop, you look the closest person next to you and you watch each other in the eyes. Playing together is really awkward. Being silent is even more awkward. But sometimes that's exactly what we need as a community or as a business or as an organization, to actually listen and to feel to each other. So that's what we're gonna do. I've got a music song ready for you. It won't be too long, but it asks some courage, but it's also really interesting because you feel energy and you want to talk to each other afterwards. So start walking in the room, use the whole space, feel the room. Meanwhile, I'll tell you a little bit of a story. Have you ever heard about the difference between finite games and infinite games? It's a beautiful, beautiful story. Most of us are familiar with finite games. Those are games that we play with a strict ending. We know the ending of a football game, right? And at the ending, after 90 minutes, a little bit more, we know who the winner will be. We also know the rules of those games. But then there are also other games, like infinite games. like surfing or skateboarding, or even working together, being a manager, leading a team. That's a game where you have to develop your own rules. There is no clear ending. There's no winner. You can even cheat. This is an infinite game. What you are doing as a network is a sort of infinite gameplay. And what we're doing now, there's no winner. There's no way to do it good. It's just a sort of playfulness. I would like you to find a partner. Stop. Find a partner next to you. Come close to each other, and I'm gonna play a song, and we're gonna listen and watch each other's eyes. And try to be really here. Maybe you've worked together, maybe this is awkward, but try to really connect. It's okay if you laugh. It's okay if you think it's weird. But it's building relationship, and that's what we need. Okay, start moving again. One more time. One more time. No, you can. There is a feedback on my mic. You can proceed. Some have already find a partner. Have you found a partner yet? Find yourself a partner. What?
You were unmuted, so it should be fine.
I
think when you hit space, it's unmuting.
Okay. Does it work? It's okay.
Maybe minimize this window.
No, it's okay. And stop. Thank you. Thank you all. I think this is really brave. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do just one more thing. One more thing, and then you can go over to the drinks and dinner. We're gonna do the same thing, and now I want you to ask yourself, what do I take home from today? Not only what have I learned, but what intention do I have? After today, I will do more of this. I will invest more energy in this. I believe after today, this is what we and my company can do. This is the last thing I will ask you. And maybe it's just the beginning of a beautiful conversation. So I'm going to ask you to walk again, to find a partner you maybe know or don't. And then set your attention after this day, and hopefully you remember tomorrow as well. Okay, one last time. Spreads. Take the room. And stop. Have you find a partner? No, you share your intention. Okay, thank you all. You can you can keep on communicating. Oh, a bit. Sorry. Just a quick moment to say thanks to you all. It's impossible. Thank you all. I'm done. My name is Fredo. I think this is really brave of you to do this. Hopefully you have a great night. Hopefully you have great impact. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Enjoy your night. Social. Yes.
So use the silent sign, but in a very